I am wanting to do a freezer meal prep day today. I have planned out a few recipes. I have some stuff that's already made that I do need to freeze already. I've never really done this before, so I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I don't know, I think it's gonna be fun just to focus on really setting us up for success for postpartum today. I have planned the vessels I'm gonna put these in as much as I can. I just have like a couple of these aluminum trays and then a lot of Ziplocs. So I'm hoping that works. I'm going to start with the stuff that just needs to be frozen, not cooked. And then I'm gonna move into doing some stuff that's actually gonna be cooked, which I'll explain in a second. So I recently tried a freezer meal where you freeze the ingredients to a crockpot recipe, and then what you do is you just thaw that and then put it on low in the crockpot, but you don't actually have to cook any meat before you can get the freezer meal. And so this has a couple benefits and a couple drawbacks. The benefits are that it does take care and takes the thought out of dinner, which is, I have shared before, like the hardest part for me. It's not actually the time, it's like the thinking through it all. The drawback is that you do still have to actually think about thawing it. But whenever we did it in the past, it was really helpful, and it's just like so easy to get done because all I'm gonna do is just pop this raw chicken, some onion, and some canned diced tomatoes with this really tasty seasoning packet in a Ziploc, and then I'm gonna freeze it, and that's a freezer meal. So that'll take like 5 minutes, which is so nice, but I do have to thaw it on the back end. But I do still really see the value in these kinds of freezer meals, and I did find them really helpful the couple times that I've done them. Okay, the next one I want to do is a recipe that we really like, and it is these like Hawaiian chicken tacos. So I'm gonna do them the same style where you do the freezing of the raw chicken, but I'm gonna get the pineapple cut, the pepper cut, everything mixed in, and then I'm gonna have just a super easy meal to just toss in the crock pot and it'll be done, which will take work out even though you do have to think about thawing it. If you have been here for any amount of time, you know that we take great care to source high quality beef. And I am so excited that now we have the highest quality way to cook them with the Bighorn Infrared Grill, who happens to be the sponsor of today's video. We live for an in-home date night and outdoor cooking, and so the Bighorn has added to that routine so much because now we can get restaurant quality steaks right at home. The Bighorn is an infrared grill that can heat up to 1500 degrees Fahrenheit in 3 to 5 minutes, which gives perfectly seared and juicy steaks just in a matter of minutes. It uses and provides professional top-down infrared cooking, which mimics the salamander ovens that they use at steakhouses. And so you are getting this restaurant quality steak with an amazing sear and all the juices held in right at your house. It offers a really versatile cooking experience because of its 10-tier rack system. And so you can cook ribeyes on the top and grill vegetables on the bottom and fish in between. You can cook just about anything on the Bighorn Infrared Grill. I know that you guys will love cooking steaks at home with restaurant quality just as much as we have. So make sure to head to the link in my description to grab your own Bighorn Infrared Grill. Thanks so much to Bighorn for sponsoring today's video. I found a bag of diced green peppers in my fridge, so I'm gonna use that. These recipes are coming from a variety of places. So the Hawaiian chicken tacos is from one of my favorite recipe sites called Pinch of Yum. I love almost all of her recipes. They are so good, and she does a really good job at like not overcomplicating the steps, which means a lot to me as someone who's like not the world's best at cooking. The chicken tinga is just from the back of the Better Goods from Walmart packet. I've never looked up another chicken tinga recipe, and it was really tasty the first time that we had it. This chili recipe that I will just be freezing is just, my mom came over and made a bunch of chili for us for a party that we had. And I didn't actually cook through all of that. I just wanted to have some on reserve just in case that we had some last minute people show up, and they didn't. So we have like a huge batch of chili we can freeze, but that recipe I can't link to because it's just my mom's. Okay, that is already 2 freezer meals down. I'm feeling good about this. That was really fast. Now I'm going to cook the rest of that chicken in the Instant Pot to get it shredded for the enchiladas and start freezing this chili. There is about 3 pounds of meat in this chili, so I have made 3 Ziplocs, and I'm thinking I'll just split it among these Ziplocs evenly, and that'll be a good amount for us to thaw at each time. The less fun side of freezer meals is the part where you have to make sure everything stays organized, and that is not easy. We run a 2 deep freezer operation because we buy all of our meat in bulk, and then I also find that with that, it's really hard to keep any kind of freezer meals and have enough space. And so I'm gonna try and just organize this freezer and hopefully get that done pretty quickly. These are actually gonna go in a stand-up freezer until they are frozen solid, and then I'll move them into here. We have a lot of freezers. I'm learning. I really do use all of them. I don't know, we just have a lot of freezers. They're all smaller. We don't have one massive freezer. I usually use a system of laundry baskets whenever I am organizing freezers. In the past, I've been the type to have a magnet on the top of a freezer, or I've been the type to do a note in my phone. I found that neither of those are that helpful to me. The most helpful thing to me is just keeping everything kind of like sorted in the freezer so that I can quickly see it whenever I actually go into the freezer, rather than having like a magnet or a list, because both myself and my husband are really bad about actually crossing something off of that list. So if I say, hey, go grab that bag of tomatoes or something, neither of us would cross it off the list, and then the list becomes completely useless. Whereas if we can just kind of see what we have, that's actually really helpful. And it makes the organizing job way faster. Okay, now I'm going to start on some enchiladas and some breakfast burritos. After this, I will likely be set for postpartum. I'll have a couple more things that I'll freeze, like ingredients wise, and if I have leftovers of a meal or it's easy to make double, I'll do that. But as far as like freezer meal days, I feel like this can be my last one. We are very lucky in the sense that we have a lot of people who are willing to bring over meals for us. So I don't anticipate needing to plan for every single meal for the first 2 or 3 weeks of my postpartum by any means. In fact, I think a lot of these we will be saving for maybe 3 weeks out, 4 weeks out. But I am still really glad that I am doing this because I can see it being handy really anytime, even not after immediately having a baby, to have freezer meals. So, and honestly, this was a lot of fun. I literally had fun today doing all of this and planning it all, and I don't know, it was kind of like a fun thing to do, and it was very helpful. So I'm happy with how this has gone. Right now I am going to cut up some potatoes to fry to put in the breakfast burritos. Right now I'm just doing what I call the kitchen dance, where you just like run around your kitchen trying to get other things done. And so I'm doing the kitchen dance because I got the sausage going, the eggs going, the potatoes going, and then all of my ingredients will be prepped, and then I can start assembling the enchilada. I think I'm gonna do enchilada casserole and the breakfast burritos. While these ingredients cool, I'm going to get my kitchen clean, but I'm forming quite the enchilada breakfast burrito assembly line over here because I think all of my ingredients are now cooked and ready to go. For the enchilada casserole, I just took the ingredients of enchiladas and layered them into a casserole dish. I find that this is a really easy way to eat an enchilada type meal whenever you have tortillas that might be prone to cracking in half or breaking. It's just a lot easier to layer them in casserole style rather than roll them all up. And it tastes really, really good, and ultimately is a super, super easy meal. Once I got the enchilada casserole all assembled in the pan, I slid the little cake pan into a Ziploc and sealed it up to put it down in the freezer. That is whenever it was time to start my breakfast burrito assembly line. I am very curious about how these are going to turn out, and I'm intrigued by the possibility of freezing scrambled eggs because sometimes we end up with too many eggs, so I feel like I could always just make some of these and get rid of the excess. This was really easy and really fun to do. I ended up making 15 breakfast burritos that were fully loaded and will just make the easiest thing to grab whenever I am postpartum for both me and my husband, which is always something that is needed. Even though I honestly believe that this kind of freezer meal prep day would be helpful even if you weren't postpartum, I am definitely feeling more prepared to welcome a little one in our family after today. As always, I hope this video was inspiring to you in your homemaking, and I will see you guys here next week on our Sweet Sunny Days. Thank you so much for watching.